Imagine yourself in the midst of winter. Snow is accumulating against your windows and the wind is howling outside when all of a sudden there is a click. There is no longer any power, no phone, no oven, no heat, no lights, only darkness, quiet, and the chill that seeps into your bones. You initially convince yourself that it's merely a malfunction, but when the minutes stretch into hours you have to face the fact that your phone battery is dead, your furnace is gone, and your refrigerator is worthless, nearly gone. You feel as though each breath is getting colder, food starts to go bad, pipes start to freeze, and all of a sudden your cozy safe house turns into an uninhabitable freezer. This is what thousands of families deal with each winter storm. It's not a scene from a movie. How long could you endure if something were to happen to you tonight? Would you be caught off guard or prepared? The fact is that a winter blackout is not only inconvenient, it is a matter of survival. Being ready is about surviving, not about being paranoid. Having the proper attitude, strategy, and above all, equipment can make the difference between weathering the storm and being swept away. In this video, I will demonstrate the 10 essential preparation things you will need to survive a winter power outage. No nonsense. No speculating. The harsh reality of what you'll need in the event that the temperature drops and the lights go off. First, let's talk about the most important one: eating. Your refrigerator turns into a coffin for everything within when the grid fails. Additionally, hunger will strike more quickly than the cold unless you have prepared the proper supplies. Non-perishable food is your lifeline. Because of this, vegetables, stews, and soups in cans will sustain you long after the area has been engulfed by the storm. The most often forgotten tool, however, is a manual can opener. You don't want to wait in the dark with cans you can't open as your stomach turns over with hunger, I promise you. Then there are meals that have been freeze-dried. They may be turned into hot, filling meals, such as rice bowls, pasta, or even breakfast, with just a little water, which will keep you going for days. Additionally, don't undervalue energy bars. When your body needs immediate nutrition, these tiny calorie-dense snacks might make the difference between fatigue and alertness. The problem is that waiting until the storm hits is the worst thing you can do. Store shelves will already be bared by terrified crowds by the time the snow starts to fall and the news is yelling warnings. It's too late if you're not provisioned by then. So ask yourself now, could you survive if the power went out tonight? The harsh reality is that you don't get another chance when calamity strikes. There will be nothing but empty shelves when you enter the store if you wait until the storm hits. You'll be left with regret and nothing to feed your family while everyone else has already panicked and stripped the aisles bare. There is no later. Later is irrelevant. Additionally, every day that passes during a blackout brings you one step closer to catastrophe. Non-perishable food is therefore essential for survival, rather than just being a good idea. The storm doesn't care about your excuses. It's the fine margin between surviving the bitter cold of winter or becoming just another cautionary story of someone who thought they'd get around to it. When the lights go out, everyone is on their own. Avoid being caught without anything. Let's now discuss something even more pressing: keeping warm. Your home turns into a freezer when the electricity goes off in the middle of a harsh winter, not a pleasant place to be. If you are not prepared, the cold will rob you of your warmth as it rushes in like an irresistible force. Clothes and blankets become your lifeline at that point. Your flimsy bedding or trendy hoodie won't cut it. Layers are what you need, and you need them now. Your armor consists of wool socks, insulated jackets, thick sweaters, and thermal underwear. You're inviting hypothermia to the party when your hands, feet, and head lose heat, so wear caps, gloves, and scarves. But you won't be saved by clothes alone. Heavy-duty blankets that retain heat even when the outside temperature drops to the single digits are what you'll need, such as thermal, fleece, or wool. One day, it might therefore hoard them as if your life depended on it. Imagine your home getting colder by the hour, while a snowstorm rages outside. What keeps your family from freezing over the course of the night? Not thin sheets. It's not wishful thinking. Blankets, warm, thick blankets that can save lives. Additionally, emergency sleeping bags are something that most people overlook. These are survival tools, not camping extravagances. They can keep you alive when the cold tries to rob you of all your warmth because of their reflective inside, which reflect back the heat from your body. Without them, hypothermia won't take long to manifest, and it might be too late by the time you notice it. So consider this: will you be safely inside emergency gear, dressed in blankets and layers when the next blackout occurs? Or will you be sitting in the dark shivering and wishing you had taken this seriously? Comfort is unimportant to winter. All it does is test survival. Sleeping bags, blankets, and layers are not extras. They are necessities. Before the storm chooses for you, get them while you can. Because it's too late to begin planning when the electricity goes out and the cold takes hold. Let's now take a moment to be realistic. During a blackout, picture yourself stumbling around your dark home. You cut your palm open on shards of glass, stumble over a chair, and collide with a lamp. Normally, you would quickly get stitched up after grabbing your phone and calling for assistance. But without power in the midst of a winter storm, it could be hours or days before help arrives. And that minor wound, it's simply become a hazardous circumstance. A first aid pack is therefore required. It is your lifeline. This is where most people make a mistake. Though packing a box of Band-Aids and ibuprofen isn't enough. You need a kit that is packed and prepared for the mayhem in the event of a blackout. First, gather the necessary supplies: antibiotic ointment, sterile gauze, medical tape, scissors, and tweezers. Although cuts and scratches might seem little, an infection can quickly become fatal if left untreated. Include splints and elastic bandages as well, because falling on ice or in the dark might cause a sprain or fracture, which is serious in cold weather. Consider frostbite. Having thermal blankets and hand warmers on hand could literally save your life or preserve your fingers and toes, since it sets in faster than you might believe. People who are desperate may light candles or homemade fires, which increases the danger of burns. In the midst of a blackout, one mistake could result in burns. Ointments for burns. Not negotiable. A thermometer is another item that most people overlook. Hypothermia can appear without warning. It's not until it's too late that you realize it. Before your body fails, a basic thermometer can alert you. When illness comes in cold weather, you have a better chance if you take that along with antihistamines, flu medications, and potent pain relievers. But pay special attention. Don't stow that kit in a drawer you won't ever locate in the dark. Make sure everyone in your house is aware of its location, and keep it easily accessible. Additionally, a first aid guidebook is invaluable. When seconds count, a guide can help you navigate the process step by step. Panic impairs judgment. The bottom line? This is more than simply a supply crate. It's armor. It buys you time. It keeps you alive till assistance comes, or you are able to support yourself. There are no second chances in the winter. Check your kit again. Extend it. Learn it thoroughly. Because it's already too late once the storm arrives. Speaking about survival, let's go on to the following necessity. Imagine the power grid being completely destroyed by a severe blizzard. Even with all of your blankets spread out, the cold still manages to get inside. The thermometer is dropping by the minute, your furnace is silent, and the walls that once shielded you now feel like an icebox closing in. Your survival is not assured if you don't have backup heat. This is frostbite, and it's not just about being uncomfortable. Hypothermia is what this is. Death is this. Having a backup heat source is essential, not a luxury. Among the most trustworthy choices, heaters that run on propane. They produce a lot of heat quickly. However, you must take note of this warning. Not all propane heaters are suitable for interior usage. If you use the incorrect one in a confined area, you will not only freeze, but you will also be poisoned by carbon monoxide. Before it's too late, you won't notice it, smell it, or know it exists. Therefore, if you're spending money on a heater, be sure it's approved for indoor use. The difference between keeping warm and not waking up at all can be determined by that one aspect. The regulation is that you absolutely must have a battery-operated carbon monoxide detector if you're utilizing a gas heater. Carbon monoxide is lethal, silent, and invisible. You have a secure arrangement when you combine that with enough airflow. You're playing Russian roulette with your life if you skip those steps. However, there are other options besides propane. During an extended blackout, a wood-burning stove can be a lifesaver. Yes, it's outdated, but nothing compares to fire's dependability. The catch? When the storm comes, you can't just ignite it with bits. You must have a ready supply of seasoned firewood. Consider the future. Since there is no such thing as finding dry wood during a blizzard, individuals will burn cardboard, furniture, and anything else they can get their hands on out of desperation, which can lead to a hazardous cycle. Recognize that you are not just uncomfortable but also exposed in the absence of a dependable heat source. When the temperature in your house drops below freezing, the just throw on another blanket tactic won't work. Everywhere you look, the cold will creep in, draining your vitality, shattering your soul, and pushing you closer to hypothermia. The psychological toll, hours of non-stop shivering, teeth chattering, and the depressing sense that the storm will never end, is also not discussed enough. Because of this, having heat is important for maintaining your sanity as well as your physical health. The lesson is straightforward: get ready before the snow falls, regardless of whether you decide to use a wood-burning stove, gas, or both. Make sure everything is prepared and safe. Stock the equipment and stack the firewood. Winter doesn't give second chances and is merciless. The difference between surviving and becoming just another statistic is a backup heat source. Let's now discuss tools, another weapon in your survival armory. Your tools are your shield from the harshness of winter. Real gritty survival when nature bares its teeth, is what I mean, not warm fireplaces or hot cocoa. You're susceptible in addition to being unprepared if you don't have the proper equipment. Imagine your doors being sealed shut by waist-deep snow. The insides of your windows are covered in frosting. No heat, no power, no assistance. You're in big danger if you don't have the appropriate tools at your fingertips. First, let's talk about the axe. You're wrong if you believe that an axe is just used for cutting wood when camping. It turns into a weapon against the cold during a blackout.